and then the enforcement risk. And so for that specific property in Chelmsford, and I may be pronouncing it wrong, they are not enforcing the laws, or if you go over that, at least not recently. But then here's some specific case law that is referenced to be aware of.
That's pretty amazing. So that's just going, so you gave it a boilerplate, of, things to look for. Again, here we're going to do co-living. This is the place we want to look at. This is the asset. These are the bedrooms. This is the public information we're pulling up. And then, you have your, I guess, your recipe that you're looking for to go find all this information. And obviously we're using technology to do that. So a good first sniff test underwriting.
Absolutely. And then we're also doing a market report that's specifically for co-living. And we get an overall grade A, B, C, and D. What's the typical room budget?
Cool.
Who are, like, how many potential renters?
Yeah.
What are the different rates if you're low, medium, high with those different ranges? And why would what so that way if you have a different kind of property type, or if it's in a nicer neighborhood or less desirable, right? So you've got different ranges. And what are those sweet spots in?
All right.
Let's say we've got the major employers and the distance, and so there's some really cool. We try to incorporate like with co-living. There's so many different variables that we have to look at versus a flip or versus a long-term rental, and so we're just trying to digest and make it more streamlined.
For sure. For sure. I like that. David, you can stop sharing for a second. Guys, we are going to go for 1 hour today. I have to stop. I have a hard stop at 3. We have a Deal Sauce partnership meeting. I have to get in there because I have to spank some booties and correct some things that people have been asking me to correct. So I have a job to do for everybody. That's my job for everybody here. But David, appreciate you for sharing that. This is just a sniff test. I just wanted to talk to David about it. This is my first time seeing it. So like, you guys I get to see it with 55 of my other friends. So, David, where are you talking about this? Are you putting this out anywhere? Are you doing anything inside as an owners club member? Are you doing anything, any Zooms, co-living, hangouts?
Yeah, Kyle Cargus and I lead the owners club co-living call every week on Thursdays. And is it okay if I drop my Blink card and
sure,
people
bro.
can reach out if
sure.
if you want to learn more? This is a new thing. Like I don't know how much to charge. Like we'd like to set up APIs if people love it. And if we can be of service, we built it for ourselves, but we also built it in a way and added twice as much effort in order to make it so that we can share it with the community and we can all win together. And that way, each one of us then just builds our piece that we all benefit from.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing salesy for me for here, nor am I even related to this guy. So I just, again, wanted to go through with David. And this is probably not the first time, nor the last time we're going to be talking about co-living here. But we talk about everything here at the Deal Sauce Zooms because it's all around, investing. So David, drop that Blink card. I see that in there. Guys, hit up David Ross. He is doing the thing. And co-living, AI, underwriting, property analysis, pretty good stuff. And I'm sure that's just a sniff test there. We just saw a fraction of it. David, appreciate you so much, brother. I'm going to carry on because we actually have, 40 minutes left. And I have a lot to cover.
Thank you so much, Justin. This was amazing.
Good to see you, brother. You too. Melissa Duncan's in there. Look at that. Where are you today? You're in Florida, I bet, right? Thumbs up. Yeah, she's saying yes. Good to see everybody in here. Welcome to the Deal Sauce Tuesday Zoom. Who's first here? First time? Any first timers? Eric Irvine, what up, dog?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Let me see if I can tag you in here and get you some. All right, make co-host. Cool. All right, I have a hard stop at 3 my time, East Coast. So guys, cool. We have some newbies here. Deal Sauce. It's just a software. we're looking at real estate, we're finding real estate, researching real estate, doing all the things around real estate. You are in the community for that. Gators, top tier, sub two, I don't care where you're from. And shout out to everybody on YouTube and watching this now or in the future. We have community members and investors that are coming in that are not part of any of these communities. So we are always focused in here on Tuesdays, talking to a lot of the family members, a lot of the community members that I know, and we're giving shout outs and we love on each other here. But there's folks that are not really part of this just yet, but we can still hang out with them, look at their buy boxes, look at their information inside of Deal Sauce. So, Eric, I wanted to go through a few things today. I'm going to cram it all in, but for folks that did or did not come to our Thursday webinar, we had a webinar last week. I was going to say it was cool to talk about something that I've done forever. It just, I don't know. I wasn't proud of the flow of it from my way, but we were trying to help a 14-year-old. We had Jose and we had Ezra from Oregon, and they came on and I met them at Squad Up, just like a lot of community members in here today. And I was like, dude, you just got to come on Thursday on a webinar. We're going to go through finding properties in your backyard, whether it's like the driving for dollars, going to the building department, looking for violations. Anyone who's been on some of these Zooms for a while, you've heard me talk about this many times, but also going and getting a tax delinquent list. And some of those are the most fruitful, in my opinion. We've gotten plenty of deals that way, where I would go get that data and bring it back home, input it into a program like a Deal Sauce, input it into my routine of outbound marketing, whether I'm going to write them a letter, text them, call them, put them in some sort of email sequence. I don't care what you do. Those are all the ways to achieve a victory or get I guess we'll take a lead to a contract, to a deal. And I wanted to go through it where you could be 14 years old, go to the county, have your father sit in the car, your mother sit in the car, run in, ask the woman at the counter. I'm going to say woman because usually it is, and ask them for the tax delinquent list or the county clerk. And I did that last week and we showed it. And I just want to repeat some of that today. But then, Eric, I want to go into your home state of California, where we don't typically play. And I want to go into Santa Cruz County. So we have Aletta Gonzalez. She's not probably with us right now, but she's working. I met her at Squad Up Summit. Mm-hmm. I met so many people. I had great conversations and they were just looking for help. And from Tanya all the way in Denmark to Aletta, I want to just give some newbies a shout. Even Melissa, like what should I be doing if I have idle hands? I don't know if I can do something right now. I can't just go pull a list. You could just pull a list somewhere, but what can I do right now? Get in a vehicle, take an Uber. I don't care what it is. Walk, take your bicycle, email a tax collector and get a list. So Eric, I want to go through that. You cool with that?
Absolutely. Take it away.
Cool. All right. So real quick, I actually will answer the questions because I'll probably just dump out at 3:00 my time, East Coast. So I want to make sure I'm not rude. So Marvin, what can we help with? And guys, if you have any questions, also Eric can probably answer some later. Oop, Marvin, you got to unmute. I'm going to send you a little button. There you go.
Yeah. I just joined Gator, and I haven't started the 90-day, of the Deal Sauce. And I've seen this and I wanted to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at, before I get started on that.
Heck
And
yeah.
you made a comment about Thursday. So is there a class on Thursday as well?
Well, David Ross is going to be doing his on Thursdays, but yes, Eric and I did do a webinar those are little side quests where they put us on at night. They allow me to go on at night and I don't know, rip about whatever idea that month I want to talk about. And what we did last Thursday was what we're going to go into today. And I will be putting that up on our YouTube. The replay will be on my YouTube. So if you are not on my YouTube, it's me, Justin Tumanowski, or at Real Estate Justin, but it's pretty much just anything Pace Morby, creative finance. I do his podcast and I do Deal Sauce. There's not much else on there. So guys, get your Deal Sauce, information there, but the replay is probably going on today in about 1 hour. That's going to be posted. So that last Thursday webinar will be live. And by the time we're done here. So
all
that was
these are recorded as well?
They are. And you actually have access to these as a Gator. Anything that's across, I'd say goes into any community. I can't tell you exactly what they all are, but a lot of the prop AIs, the softwares, the things that you can utilize, the tools in any community, I don't care where you are, you're going to see a lot of those inside the vault. So you can go back for the last year, year and a half, and you'll see Eric and I on a lot of different Zooms.
It's every Tuesday. What's on every Thursday is just a deal where you can just get on and just it's just general.
Yeah, Thursday. Well, Thursday is just going to be a one-off. That was just a one-off I did. It might be might be a
Never.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh,
So I
okay.
would say if I was you, I would see what your calendar says for the Gator community. I don't actually
Okay.
know what it says, but just see what the Gator community looks like and just monitor the Zooms. Try not to
Okay.
do too much content, be tactful, try to just be intentional on the content you are absorbing. But it's good to get yourself out there. The camera's on. I love that you have the camera on, your hands raised, you're vulnerable, you're doing the thing. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Good to see you. All right. Eric, let's go into it. I'm gonna share my screen.
Absolutely.
What's up, everybody? All right. So, Eric, we went through. I'm going to kick it right out of the gate. I'm going to go right into it, guys. We ended up talking about, and so forgive me if you've already were present for this, but I think it's important. I think we go over it again. So, something that I like to do near and dear to my heart. I'm in the Northeast, so I'm in the green, which is a little bit unique. I actually didn't know this. I learned a thing or two because I've played a lot in my own backyard, and a lot of the deals I own are back here. I own stuff up and down the East Coast. However, not all of it was tax delinquent. So this is a tax delinquent map of the different levels of how they, I guess, where they control the taxes, right? We all pay taxes on property that we own, most of us. The blue indicates it's collected at a county level, and it's assessed at a county level. So you're going to the county. Where in the green for me up in the Northeast, I'm going by by city and town. So my town, they collect the taxes. I go to the next town over, I own a dozen properties over there. And that's what I'm going to show you in a second, where I was actually going into their office. They collect all their own taxes. So it's, I don't know, if you get 400 towns per state, you got 400 tax collectors, which is pretty cool. Where again, you guys, we helped some folks in Oregon. They collected at the county level. It's the same thing, guys. It just maybe aggregated on a larger scale. So understand that you're going to be collecting on the county level. And then the orange, I don't know, state centralized. Hawaii and Maryland seem like the only two, potentially DC. So that's your reference on how they are collected. So that means, what does that mean, Justin? That means that's who we are going to, if we're going to go ask for a list. You can go to the county. Most likely it's the county tax assessor. And you can do that by a Google search. There's so many different ways of doing that. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So on the 19th, last Thursday, I made a little slide because I took photos live while I was actually at the town next to me. It's a good little, it's probably like the fourth or fifth largest city in New Hampshire, which doesn't say a lot, but it's probably like 40,000 people, give or take. I love it. And I just go and walk into the municipal building. I go to the tax collector. She was on the first floor, went up to the counter. It's actually never been this easy. Her name was Norma, but she was stepped away. That's when I took my photo. And Norma, I just went up to her and I was like, Norma, may I access all the property owners on record that are delinquent for the last, I think I said 18 months. And she's like, oh, great. What email would you like me to send it to? So I was expecting, hey, it might cost you $5. It might cost you some time. I might have to hem and haw about having to do extra work for you. Nope. It was so freaking simple. It actually surprised me. And then Norma sent me an email. I had my fingers crossed. I walked upstairs and I went to the code enforcement office. What are they doing? They are issuing building permits. They issue all sorts of, they monitor the city, making sure everyone's conforming. So before I get into that, I wanted to show you exactly what actually that email looked like. So Norma sent it. Good morning. Hopefully this one will be easier to read. She sent me a full spreadsheet. You can't see it here, but all the numbers are on here, what people owe, what they were assessed at, what the penalties are, what their address is, what everything is. And then some folks will send you something and it looks like this. They make you work for it. They give you an APN number, which is your parcel number. And I'll get into this in a little while. This is Santa Cruz County. But I've been given lists like this where they go and make it a little bit harder for you to go figure out who is who. But they're giving you this like coded message here, and then they'll tell you what they owe. So I've seen it many, many different ways, but Norma was sweet as pie and she hooked it up. And then I went to the upstairs. Like I said, I went to the planning department, public health, public works, and it's code enforcement. They have a 3-ring binder. I wanted to make sure I've talked about this before. And I sat in this chair and read this 3-ring binder, and they have sheet after sheet of people who are violating the town ordinance. So again, there are so many silly little things in there, but we've gotten juicy deals out of there where this one, for instance, came in as there's 3 unregistered motor vehicles and they're not allowed to be on that property. So I think in this town, they allow X amount of vehicles and some have to be registered and they just don't want it looking like a used car lot. I respect that. I do not want trash, vehicles on cinder blocks and things of that nature everywhere. So I can respect it, but if they start to accumulate, typically that's your signs of distress. So you could market to this person. Will they sell? I don't know, but these are all key indicators. This one's a good one. Look at this. The property is overgrown beyond the 8-inch weed height allowed by the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code. And then also it says the structure is in a state of dilapidation. Well, I shared a story that in the same town, same ordinance, same violation, not the same person, we ended up with a $50,000 assignment on a gentleman with the same thing. The structure is in a state of dilapidation. And actually that the city, said they were going to tear the property down if he did not comply, and they were going to charge him back. So what they do is they send you a violation. Here, I'll stop sharing for a second. They'll send you a violation and they'll put another copy in that 3-ring binder. So what I end up doing, I go in and ask, I say to the young lady at the counter, I'm like, hey, you have the 3-ring binder? And with the violations, actually, this woman did not know what that was because she was new. And she looked at the filing cabinets and then she saw a couple 3-ring binders up there and she goes, is it one of those? I'm like, sure, it must be. I know it's here. Now, not everyone has a 3-ring binder. Not everyone follows this sequence, but it's this easy for me. So it must be just pick up some of the breadcrumbs that I'm trying to give you guys where you understand how one process in one city goes about this. They'll send a they'll send a registered certified mail receipt to the homeowner, and then they'll put one copy in the 3-ring binder and it's all in order. And then every year they put a piece of paper in there. I think they write down who was actually given a violation on a spreadsheet, and then they start the next year on that binder. So you can go back every year, every 6 months, every 3 months, and just see what was new, and then go out to those folks and market them. So you could take all that information, and that's what I was saying, bring it back into Deal Sauce, for instance. And then you can see even more. Those are the things. You can see even more distress. You can see, there might be a divorce, an inherited property, a death. Gosh, it's endless. Low equity, pre-foreclosure, goes on and on and on. So I wanted to show that's actually exactly what I did last week. Are there any questions on that where we're going for, and Don says, I've been a dairy tax collector. Yeah, you guys good with tax delinquents, going to the tax collector's office. I don't care if it's county level or state level or even smaller town level, and then going for any building department. So water shutoffs. All right, apparently we're good. So 71 people on here. Good to see everyone. All right, Eric, I'm going to share something real quick. See if I can get this on.
What do you got?
I just want to go through the tax, I guess, the process. So we talked about tax delinquent. All right. So that's usually the first step. Most of these folks, guys, are, they're free and clear. Not all of them. But why? Because people with a mortgage typically escrow their payments. So they put their insurance, they have their taxes, and their, I guess their interest rate. So we call it the PITI, right? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. And it's all lumped into one payment. And let's say that's just whatever, $1,000 a month. And you have a mortgage. So you're if you're not paying your mortgage, you're typically not paying your taxes. However, if you have a mortgage and you stop paying the mortgage, does the property tax still get paid? Well, you bet your bottom dollar it does, because the bank does not want to lose that property, because the bank does not supersede the local government. So if that bank forgot to make the payments like you did, they could seize that property, and too bad, so sad. So that's why when you see a lot of these properties that are free and that are on the tax delinquent, most often you're going to see that they're free and clear. Now, again, are they always free and clear? No, but there's circumstances around that. From my experience, most of them are just free and clear. And usually they're, vacant land, inherited, grandpa had some land in Montana. I won't go into that story today, but I shared a story of my family having some property in Montana. They abandoned essentially. It could be, that shack. I've seen lake properties, lake and camps. So I know if you go around New England, you see these bodies of water, there's a bunch of camps. Sometimes they look like just a little shed and shack. And we bought one recently that was essentially forgotten. Now they paid the taxes on it, but the family hadn't been up there in probably 20 years. They just paid the taxes on it. And we bought it. It was a time capsule. It was from like 1988. It's like the last time it looked like someone was in there. Pretty wild. So, all right, the process of this. Let's go right here. So we're going to have, so first you're going to be delinquent on your taxes. All right, that's step one. Step two, let's see if we can do this. There we go. You have your tax lien is going to be filed. So the next step is, you're delinquent, you're late, you're going to have a few months, a few years, typically between the delinquency and your tax lien being filed, where the local government will file it. So this is the county or the town/city. And they'll issue the liens. And you're going to see this could be anywhere from, 1 year of delinquency to, don't quote me on this, guys, but it might be 5 to 6 years. They can allow it for what they want, but they're essentially letting you're not paying the local government. So they are carrying your weight in that property, and they need to make up that deficit. They need that money back to pay their local workers and police and school and all these things, teachers. So what happens from here is you get your tax liens filed. What are we looking at now? Oh, the certificates. That's what I wanted to go through here. So depending on the state, most of us are going to be playing in this ballpark today, right here. So up above here. All right. We want to catch folks. Now we're going to talk about strategies in the future that are going to be beyond those two. So I'll call this 1 and 2. Tax delinquent, 1 to 5 years. They're going to keep issuing you. They want their money. They're going to charge you interest, late fees, all those things. They're going to rack up. And then eventually they're going to say, all right, you know what, Eric, I'm sick of you. It's been 5 years. We're going to put a lien, and we're actually going to go for now taking of the property. So what they're going to go for is a tax certificate. That's supposed to be an R. So they're going for a tax certificate. Now, it depends on the state. Again, I'm not going to go into the nuances. There'll be more training on this. But then what ends up coming is a tax foreclosure after that, where eventually, if you went through all these 3 steps, if you went through delinquent for a few years, the lien process, and then between here and here is a few years, they call it a redemption period. If that goes, and then finally, they're going to say, all right, we're just foreclosing on you. We're taking the property, or someone could take the property from you at auction. So I want to catch everybody in here. They're late. They might be a few months behind, a few years behind. Things are starting to rack up. They need to get out of Dodge. They need to pack up. They need to downsize, empty nesters, like I said, divorce, death, inherited properties, all these things. Folks need help. So that's what we're going to talk about today, Eric, in Santa Cruz County. I want to go find some of these people. You guys all understanding this? Am I going in the weeds with my chicken scratch?
No, you're good.
We good?
Yeah, no questions popping up. And why Santa Cruz? Why are you coming my direction?
Bro, well, first of all, you and I stayed in Pleasure Point on that beautiful house. We
Yep.
all, Dustin, myself, you. We rented well, we had little scooters. We had a good little time in Santa Cruz. But I met someone, and Aletta, she's in Santa Cruz. I couldn't believe it. And I think you had already left at Squad Up Summit. So it was one of the last days. And she's like, Justin, I need help. I want to find some deals in my backyard. And so this one's for her. She's not here, but I told her to watch the replay.
Cool.
So I said, like, if I can't get on with you, I'm just gonna roll like you're here, and I'm gonna keep trucking. So guys, you can take this and rinse and repeat anywhere. And that's just it.
Cool. So you called or emailed ahead and got a list of properties, delinquent properties in Santa Cruz?
I actually didn't. It goes different areas. Here, check this out. This is actually better than you and I did last week. So if anyone was on the live last week, Eric and I went on with Jose and Ezra, and we got stonewalled. So we went to whatever county it was. So it was the state of Oregon, and we picked I think I picked 4 counties that were local to Jose and Ezra. And each one of them, and this is because I think Oregon has this is their policy. They could charge, I think it's $0 up to $200. I want to say $25 to $250 for a list. So guys, this information it could be expensive. Why do you think a Deal Sauce, app and aggregated data like we try to get, and we try to get you guys public data, and we try to scrape it and do all the things for you guys to try to go anywhere in the country and do this, we're back in the Stone Age. However, why is this stuff so important? Because this list often, there's nothing better. I always say it's out of the horse's mouth. So it's the freshest data. Where you go to a prop stream, I don't care where you go, anything public, there's a delay always on it. And sometimes it's not always the cleanest. And I'll be the first to say it. I am not here to BS anybody. I want you guys having good stuff, but we have to use all the tools. It's not just a one-stop shop. So a Deal Sauce does work, but it's where we go get the fresh data locally. And that's with any list. That's a driving for dollars, D for D, driving for dollars or driving for deals. You can get your tax list, and you're building these all yourself. A violation. Violation. Some of these things all can be obtained other than the driving for dollars. You can do that virtually, but some of these can also be sought via email. So you can email the county clerk, and that's exactly what I did. I researched those 4, RK. I emailed those 4 counties. It's getting a little crazy here, Eric. I'm going to clean it up. I emailed them, and they told me this. Let me see if I'll pull that up for you guys here. I'll give you the exact response. They told me it was $110, which I get. I've paid $15 for a list. I've paid $5. I've paid $0. They've paid for copies. I've paid for stamps. It's a crapshoot wherever you go, and they might just want to check. So it might take a little while, but let's go email requests here. Screenshot. Let's see what they say. This was my email to them. The gentleman's name, I did some research. I just looked up the county real quick. I thought I saw the name Bronson. So just in case it was Bronson, I wanted to address it to him, but also the team. Hope you're doing well. Submitted a public request, the existing records related to the delinquent real property in Clackamas County. Would you please send me the following? And I asked for a few extra things. I was trying to prove a point for this exercise, for this Zoom, for this webinar, to ask for a lot and see what I ended up getting. So I was trying to break the system in a sense. And I asked for delinquent tax records, but also anything scheduled for a tax foreclosure. Again, the things that people have now, they're years behind. Can we swoop in there? Can we buy something? Is there an auction that's coming up? So here's what the response was. We could provide the properties delinquent in property tax cost beginning at $110 for the first 1,000 parcels, and increases for $10 increments for each additional 1,500 accounts. Blah, 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 blah. They want you to pay, and then they'll do it. So that's their policy. And unless you went down there, I don't know if it changes it. I've even asked for One of the conversation pieces around this is, what do you have readily available right now where that's all the work you have to do is just go on the computer and hit print page. Sometimes you can negotiate these things. Sometimes you're appealing to a human to human. I was telling Ezra, the 14-year-old I was teaching, I was like, put the sad puppy face look on, brother. Like, do whatever you can. And it's essentially up to them. Now, a lot of people follow just the blanket procedure, but I was, I don't know, 3,000 miles away on the East Coast, emailing over, not like they know, but there was no personal touch to this. So I just wanted to give a blanket. Now, again, your results may vary wherever you are. You can be in Denmark and you can find, I don't know, I'm going to go to Tennessee and pick a county and email the county. You will find success. You will get free lists. You will get this stuff done. And it should be the most accurate and up to date. There's a way of going on to Deal Sauce to upload these lists. But to keep the ball rolling, I just want to show you, I got the responses. Clean list. I'll show you what a list looks like. So that's what my assistant did. She just did that. I said, Shell, pick a random ass place. She picked Mecklenburg County, and I think this is North Carolina. Yes, it is, Charlotte. So this is exactly what they sent her. Now, this is pretty dang good. You got Patel, you got 100 North Harbor Place, Davidson. Now, I don't have his mailing address. This gives me the property that are in this county. So what I would do if it were me, all you're going to need to do is pay attention to this. You're going to take columns. If you're going to upload this in the Deal Sauce, now we're going to get real. We're going to now start to market it. We're going to start to see where these people live because, I don't know, this person right here, Patel, Shivam, Eric, how do you say that last one? Arvind?
Arvind.
All right. We don't know if that's his house. He could be our landlord. And so what, I'm going to send mail to the landlord? Heck no. We want to go right to Sharvim's front door. So we would take columns, pay attention. Column C, all we want is the street address, the city, the state, and the zip code. I want 4 columns. When you save that into a CSV file and a Deal Sauce, you're going to go up to uploads. It's this freaking simple. And we actually tell you again. So if you were like, Justin, what was that? I mean, I can show you, can click this button right here. It's going to show you right here. Oh, now I'm breaking it. So then you can click and drop it, or you can choose the file. So it's a CSV file, those 4 points. When you upload the list, it will populate right here on the right-hand side. Let me see if I can actually do one live for you guys. I don't know if I have the list ready. You'd have to give me a second. I may have thrown that list out. Give me 1 second, guys. Does that make sense? Are we all good on that? So we can go seek the data. I don't care if it's a violation. You can put your own list together. You can generate your own Excel spreadsheet if you want. Oh, I got it right here. We got it. Here. So I just uploaded, this one was a New Hampshire one. So this is actually the one I believe that I went and found. I cleaned it up before that webinar. I just uploaded it. There should be like 800 and something properties. But the cool thing about this is that you're going to see things that you conventionally would not see. You're going to get their mailing address. You're going to get their mortgage information. You're going to get their struggles. You're going to get if it's on market, if it was expired, or, you're going to see the track record. So I got 845 properties. That took me all of that day. Last Thursday, I did it, went to the gym. On my way home, I stopped at that county. It took me within 30 minutes, I had an 800 list that I now have that's the most accurate. All right. So, and then what does it do?
Maps them all out for you.
It maps them all out. So let's go aggregate this now. Let's go if I have AI, or it doesn't matter what, distance, auction dates, listing price, last sale date, let's just aggregate by last sale date just because I got to do something. So you can see the oldest, on record here. Let's see if I'll go the other way. So these are brand new. This one's upside down. Upside down. There's a flip. Absentee owner, low equity. Tax government liens. See what we're seeing here, guys? Free and clear. Absentee owner, tax delinquent. These are all we might potentially start to see problems, pre-foreclosures or foreclosures. So these are the things I want you guys to pay attention to. And that's why we're uploading it. From here, you can go, obviously, you can export it again. So you can take every one of these back out. Now it's skip traced. Here's the cool part. The town's not giving us they're not giving us emails. They're not giving us all this information. I could call Kimberly right now because I have Kimberly's information right here. If there was an email, I'd email her. Merrill Way. I do know that area. This looks like a driving for dollars all day. This looks like an old grandma's house, in my opinion. This thing needs some love. 100%. So that's many lists. And I'm just thinking about what other list in my mind is that. But I'm not looking at the one-offs. So we could take this whole 845 list. I have all the skip tracing included in my plan. I have the hot plan. So what I'm going to end up doing now is 845. I'm going to export everything again. So I uploaded four points, 4 cells, 4 rows of an Excel or a CSV file. Didn't even have the owner's name in it. And it's going to regurgitate back freaking all of this with phone numbers, emails, everything. So now I can really play with this list. I could put it into ChatGPT. I could put it into Claude. I can put it into whatever and say, hey, based off the information I'm telling you now, can you aggregate this again? Tell me where to start first. Who should I call right now based off the facts that I'm showing you? Who should I call first? And that's how you find these deals. It's this easy. So that's what I did locally. Eric, let's talk about, because I have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How easy I found this is, guys. I did this before we went live today, and I sent my friend a text and I said, hey, Aletta, watch this replay today. It's going to be on YouTube. Also, it's going to be in the vault, but I'm going to try to do something around Santa Cruz. So again, I don't care where you are in the country. Results may vary. Steps may vary. You just got to think about it. You got to research it a little bit. I was lazy. I went into ChatGPT. Now I use Claude. I use other means, but that's sort of like my Google now. And it spit back a link where they give me all the property tax default delinquent list. Now, these are declared as of July 1st, 2022. Give me a break a little bit on how I'm giving this to you, because also it shows 2025. So things do take time in the tax world, especially tax liens, tax delinquents. They sometimes are years in the making. So you're not going to get a deal tomorrow. You're not going to hear back from everybody that's delinquent. This is an ongoing follow-up sequence. You're going to market to these people. But just look at this. They're making it a little harder, like I showed you earlier. But, well, we got a LLC here, or holdings. We have another one here. Cinemas. I don't think the movie business is doing too good sometimes, Eric. What do you think? Well, the theaters, I should say. But this is what they are owed to redeem their tax delinquency. So if someone might just abandon it, you might be able to step in and say, hey, I'll redeem it. I'll put some money in your pocket. This one's 46,000. I don't know what the APN number is. So this is where you have to do a little homework. Now, can we search APN numbers? Yes. Can I search it on scale? I need to be an expert on that. So I'm still working around this right now myself. And you can do one-offs. So here's the one thing I would tell a letter right now that I would do. I would go in and see what this property is. So Silver Cinemas. I'm going to copy APN number. In Santa Cruz, it asked me parcel number or AIN. Let's see if it works. No, I have not tested this. Boom. 210 Lincoln Street, Santa Cruz. Now I'm willing to bet, oh, the GIS map is here, historical parcel map. Cool, cool, cool. So let's go look it up. Big old commercial building. And we have Nickelodeon. I don't know, theater. Eric, tell me what it is.
Your guess is as good as mine. I thought that was a pizza place I used to go to, but as soon as you zoomed out, it is not.
It is not, but let's go look up another one. This one's $420. I don't really care about them. I want to see, I don't really care about these big ones either. This is a Union Partners.
Yes, like so what dollar amount are you looking for?
I
Right?
don't know. Like, bro, you look at this one, $1,900. I don't think, like, I've seen some that had 25 cents on them because, like I told you, they have omitted the cents, the dollars and cents,
Yeah.
on a check or something. And like they wrote the check for $468 and forgot the 16 cents. And then the 16 cents accumulated to like $400 in interest.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm looking for is maybe, I'd love to be able to mass search these APNs and do the same thing here.
Yeah,
Like I upload.
I just tried that. Well, at least, going into I was using Claude to see if they could scrape the addresses based on the APN numbers, and they're unable to. So different websites just have protections in place. So if there's something there that they can't get past, but they redirected me to the website you're on right now. So
Yeah, and what we can do though is we can actually probably formulate this on our side. I'm pretty sure there's a way of doing it because we can search APN numbers. I just would have to find out from the programmers or the developers what the sequence they'd like to see, but I can work on that. And that's something I just haven't, it has been a priority for us, right?
yeah.
But 100% I'm willing to do that. And then we can just do the same thing, guys. We can get this APN number. Oh, where am I? I'm lost. Right here. I mean, I think that's a pretty cool add-on for us if we can do something like this and upload it into our deal sauce.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So let's do one more. Let's see if we can find a residential address. Oh, dang it. They fuzzied out this, blocked it out. You can actually request that error, can't you? I think
You
through
can,
Google.
yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty weird. Dang it. Sometimes the side profile, you can see it. Well, you can tell if it's that one. There's a little bungalow that's looking pretty rough from a map that's 2024. Now, can I see over here? No, but it could just be missing. It could be misaligned. That probably is the property, if I'm willing to bet. Behind the same barricade, same wall. But guys, you understand what I'm getting at. And maybe it isn't. But this is what you do, especially if you're in town and you can figure this out. Oh, my luck. Got one of them. All right. 5 minutes left. That was actually pretty impactful, I think, but that is a condensed version of, we didn't even have to email the county. Now, is there a tax delinquency list that is very current right now that I might not be seeing on that Santa Cruz County website? Probably. Now, again, I did all of this 15 minutes before we went live today. So if I can do that in 15 minutes, there's no excuses where if you spend maybe not your money making activity hours during the day, but maybe at night when you're Netflixing and chilling and you're on the couch with your kids or your wife or your husband, and you have a few minutes with your laptop open, start kicking the tires on some of these. Go into the county, go into a place where you do your marketing. RV parks, mobile home parks, commercial buildings, mixed use, single families, land, all of it's available. All of this is in there. You just got to go find it. And again, some of them are going to be better addresses than others. Like the APN is probably the hardest. When they give you that's the knuckleball that they throw you. If you can overcome that, I think any other list they give you will probably be a lot easier. Sometimes I've just gotten the homeowner's name with the amount of money. That one was a challenge too, and I don't know how we overcame that, but my assistant did that one. Guys, any questions on this?
Chat's been pretty quiet.
Super quiet. That means that they're paying attention. People are watching. So we can do more on this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to market that list that I have, about 800. We got Bart coming up. I'm going to market the list for me. And like, I would love to show you guys when I can get that marketing list out. I'd love to show you guys the results from it. Bart, what's going on, man? I got you unmuted. Can we hear?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I had it on mute on my keyboard. I didn't know it. So for this for these lists, I use when I set up I have a little Excel spreadsheet for all my Gator contact information in the group chats, right? So Diane Osgood had put a video on the YouTube platform about how to set that up and how to use ChatGPT to structure that Excel spreadsheet. And I went into that and I did that process. And so now I take all the information from my Zoom chats and add it to that spreadsheet, and it organizes it in different tabs and whatnot. Well, I went a step further and added a bunch of extra instructions on top of what Diane had suggested. And I posted that in the comments of her YouTube video of what I also instructed ChatGPT to do. And so now I have this little platform in this Excel spreadsheet where I got it's separated between Gator and Sub 2 and top tier coordinators, all the other things, right? So can't we do the same thing with these lists? And if they provide X information, we can just upload the whole list to ChatGPT and have ChatGPT search these specific things out through public record and all the other websites, and then have it format an Excel spreadsheet and upload the Excel spreadsheet to DealSauce?
Yeah, I've done that the old school way. I've used ChatGPT. So I know it has its limitations at times. Now, I am no AI expert. I use Claude now. That's another one that's probably a little bit more optimized, a little bit more, you can get a little bit deeper with it. However,
Okay.
I think if you give chat, again, don't quote me, I've done this before, but it's, I don't know, a different model maybe. I've done where it asks for like dosages. Give me 25, give me 10 or 15 properties at a time. But like, that's what I'm saying. Give it 5 APN numbers, give it the county, give it the area, give it the information, say, just give me these 5 addresses. And maybe you can get it to a point where it's doing it overnight for you, or it's doing it before you go to bed, hit send, let it do its thing. And then you wake up in the morning and maybe you have a list that's something you guys can work with. So that's definitely a workaround until
So what about Prop AI?
Prop AI.
I just watched the man versus machine Zoom with or man versus machine webinar with Pace and a couple other guys, and the Prop AI thing seems like it's doing its thing.
Prop AI will still need because typically we're going to do is we're going to go get the information, the addresses, the prospects. I don't call them
Okay.
all leads, right? And I want to make sure I
Right.
should be doing a better job teaching folks to say these are prospects. We don't even have these are just addresses until we
Right.
understand that they call back, then it's a lead. But let's get those prospects into the deal sauce because we need to regurgitate emails, phone numbers, landlines, all that stuff needs to come back out. Then we go over to Prop AI.
Okay.
And we have automations coming for you guys for that, where we're going to try to just keep it all on the same platform. Like you click the button, it's like send it to Prop AI. Boom. And
Another
it just sends.
another thing is Base 44. If you got a few bucks in your pocket, you can tell Base 44 to copy the basic principle of a platform and integrate the basic principles of another platform, as well as integrate the basic principles of another platform. And it's also got the super agent feature that can do all these cool things for you. And Base 44, that's what I used to design my website, and it worked out pretty well. But I've used it to make a Gator pipeline that is a little bit more along the lines of what the program, I think it's called Synfuse. And I've just been working on it and just checking it out a little bit. Just to give people some idea, of what's out there and available to use. You can design your own website to build these leads and stuff. It's not limited to,
Yeah, and I think just the one thing, Bart, it's like, yeah, you have it then. So you got it, and you can be a pioneer in this. It's like for the common Joe right now who's trying to keep up. What I'm trying to do is, yeah, let's go teach them the way of what is the process. Let's go teach the tax
Okay.
delinquencies, the tax certificates, the foreclosure, all those things. And then it's like, let's find the experts to go aggregate it. Let's go find the experts to go scrape. And that's what you come in, and guys like you and David and all these other folks. So kudos
Cool.
to you. If
Well,
that's all you got, brother,
I'll get to working on it a little bit more. I still got all my gator training to do. You know, I'm just
you
brand
got
new
some
in
work
this
ahead
thing, right? But
for sure.
I work actively every day, so
Love it. Well, brother, good to meet you. And
good to
thanks
meet
for
you,
coming
man.
on.
Yep. Thanks.
Cool. I'm going to try to do one more. Is it Sorat?
Yes, sure.
How you doing,
Hi,
brother?
Justin.
What's going on?
Quick question. So I'm a new gator. A couple of weeks it's been, and I did my first in-person meeting in Vegas. So want to keep it short. My question is, I've been listening to your Zooms like a couple of times now. So after finding this amounts, tax delinquency, and APN, I have cybersecurity background, so I can find any information. So no problem. I found all the information. So what's the next step? Do I just reach out to owners and offer them what they delinquent on, or like what's very shortly? I know you have to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, marketing, and I think I saw another question there. So it's a really good question. So, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to do, because I love it so much, but it's not for everybody. I love direct mail. And one of these things I didn't get into today is where, like, I was teaching that 14-year-old is you could pick a bundle of 25 of the worst or the ones that are local in your market. I can do this in one night. I could take an hour, 2 hours. Let's break it up into two even. You got Netflix and you're chilling and you can you get a postcard, you scribble a few things on it. You don't even talk about the house. You just ask, hey, I'm an investor locally. I'm a family owned, blah, 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 blah. Love, if you're ever in the market, you ever need someone to buy your asset, or you're in trouble, whatever the messaging you want to give. I don't have time to get into that now. I put that postcard in a colored envelope, I stick a stamp on it, and I send it away. And it's a little soldier that goes out to war. And I make sure that my phone number and email are on there. And I wait for the phone to ring. And usually you will get a call. Now, you're not going to get 25 calls. You might get one, you might get none on that one, but the next 25 batch you might, and that's all it takes. But it's repeated marketing. So there's that. Of course, we can do SMS or texting. That's the prop AIs and the cold calling, CC for cold calling.
Yep.
Again, prop AI. In the skip trace, you'll also see some emails occasionally. Now, I can't tell you the accuracy, but there's some more scraping you can do with emails. Once you have it skip traced, you could say, hey, give me all the emails you can find on this person, reskip it again. So we're hitting them from every avenue.
Okay.
And
so
yeah.
Then we offer them, if they communicate with us, is that kind of how it works? Like we buy the property or land, whatever they have for that delinquent amount, or?
I just answer my phone, right? And I could tell you one that we had that's like, I remember I was up my upstairs office and the woman called. It was a seller finance deal, and I ended up getting really cool terms on it. She was like, hey, I already had a wholesaler here. It was already under contract. Once I talked to her on the phone, I go, I remember seeing this house. I think it's on like a Facebook group of local investors, and the kid was wholesaling it. And I go, and I looked at it, I was on the phone, and I go, is your property this? And she goes, yeah, that's mine. I said, you have it under contract with somebody. She goes, no, the contract's gone, or I am getting rid of it. I said, here's the deal. Her name is Kathy. I said, Kathy, call me if you're getting out of this contract for one reason or another, call me when you're out of it, but I need an authorization from a title company. I need to know you are not doing business with this person, because it's a small world and I'm not going to go snake someone else's deal. And what do you know she did? She called me like 10 days later and she's like, I'm confirmed out. And we confirmed. And she's like, it just wasn't working out. So I went up and saw the property, and that was it. The rest is history. I offered her a cash price and I offered her a seller finance price, and she took the seller finance. That easy, brother.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good to meet you. Good to see you. Take care. Hey guys, I have to boogie. Eric, do you want to hang tight on here, or are we good to, it's up to you.
I mean, I can hang out for a few minutes. I do have some other stuff to do. So it doesn't seem like there's been too many questions. So if nobody has anything right now, I'm happy to hop off and get back to my money making activities today.
Let's do it. So if you got money, send it to Eric because he's my money guy and he's the money guy. But Eric, appreciate you as always. I know this was a fast and quick one. Appreciate David on here. Appreciate everyone coming on here. I think this was impactful, fast, down to the point. This stuff can happen anywhere in the country. Figure out where you are. There's a YouTube replay. Like I said, it's going on at about, I put 3:15 my time as I think when we posted that video. So in like 10 minutes, last week's webinar is going to go on. It's a lot slower. I actually love that I just condensed it all in freaking 40 minutes. But Don, good to see you. Guys, good to see you on here. And yeah, appreciate you everyone as well. Every week we're here. We're trying to be here every week. And let's go do some deals. And if you guys get any success, please come on here and share it. Please tell me. If you get stuck, please tell me. If you freaking get a deal, please tell me. We want to share wins. We want to talk about doing deals and good deals. So till then, I'll see you guys. I got to go to a deal sauce meeting.
Later.
2.0 is coming up very soon.